Now, in this lesson, I want us to look at the tariff system, okay? And I'm trying to put all these things in tables so that it's easy for you, okay? We're going to go to the tariff system. So I have tables here on the tariff system that we are going to use, okay? So before you start, all you need to know on the tariff system, you need to be, let's see if this is clear for you. Yes, that's clear. Let me try to put it up a bit. No, doesn't work. Yes, it works well like this. So on the tariff system, I will take it up a bit and zoom it. Aha. So now you can see. So you will be given a consumption and these two columns you will be given. So for you, you need to be able to draw these two on your own. If you can do that, you are done. Okay, that's step number one. Step number two, you need to know what is consumed by whoever is in the question. So in this one, it's 170 kiloliters. Okay, then once you know the consumption, you must go and look in the column. Look at the first row that is greater than the consumption. So my consumption is 170. So this one is still less than, this one is still less than, this one is still less than. So if there is no one that is greater than, you will be here on the more than. So you, please, I want you to scratch this on your pencil, on your book. You will see why am I saying this, okay? You scratch this all the way, okay? So you can scratch this. All right. Do that with your pencil. You will start by adding these two columns and you scratch the one that is just above your consumption. So it's 170. So here I'm on 150. If there's no number that is bigger than 170, you just automatically fall on the more than. Okay. So now let's get the block. So now we are going to get the block. How do we get the block? Is the last number minus the first number. So in this one, it's 20. Okay. And then we go to the next one, 35 minus 21, it's 14. So we put our 14. See how easy it is to work with tariff. 150 minus 36. Let me use my calculator. The next one, 150 minus 36, we get 114. So we're gonna write our 114. Sorry, just don't, I will put it where it belongs. So we write our 114. Now we need to write here on the scratch line. But how do we write on the scratch line? That's the reason I marked it. It's always the consumption minus all these numbers that are above to get this scratch one. So our consumption is 170. So we will say 170 minus, we minus all these numbers that are above. So let me just circle them so that you know what I'm talking about. So all the numbers that are above the line, that is what we subtract. Okay, so which means for us to get this one, just a bit, yes. So for us to get this one, it will be the consumption, which is 170 minus all the numbers that are above. So let's start one in our calculator. 170 minus 20 minus 14 minus 114. Then we get that it's 22. So we know that here we have 22. Let me write it here and I will move it there. So here we'll have 22. So that is why I wanted you to highlight that number. So now, how do we populate this column? For free, please, if you have free, always put a 0 next to it. Okay. So now this is block multiplied by tariff. So my block is 20 times a tariffs for free is 0. So this will be 0. And then this one, it will be 14 times 4.67. 14 times 4.67. And then you get your answer, which is 65.38. 65.38. Okay. And then we go for the next one, which is 114, which is block multiplied by tariff. 114 times 19.89. Then we get 2267. We write it 2267.46. And then we go for the next one, which is 22. 22 multiplied by, what is this number? I just need to move this so that I can see the number. 27.86. It's times 27.86. Remember, for you, just scratch with a pencil nicely so that you can erase it when you are done. But scratching doesn't mean that this line is not working. So 22 times 27.86, we get 612.92. Okay, then we put our numbers. Then we add, we get the total. And the total will be, okay, I need to move a bit. It's 65.38 plus 2267.46 plus 612.92. And then we get our total there. So our total for the month for 170 kiloliters is going to be, let me write it, 2,945.76. You see how easy it is to work with tariffs on the table. So you've got the answer. So they will have to pay 2,945.76 for their spend. Okay, so that's how we do it. And let's look at the next question. You always look at your consumption first. You start by drawing these two columns. You need to know them. They won't give them to you on the exam. You add this, you draw this, you take this as it is from the question, and you add these two columns. Okay, so you draw the table for yourself and you look at the consumption. It's 23, so it's still less than 23, but this number is bigger than 23. You stop at the number that is bigger than your consumption. If there's no number that is bigger, then you stop at the more than column. So in this case, I will scratch out this one because it's bigger than my consumption. You see that? I will scratch this one. Now I will work on my blocks. Okay, so here it's gonna be 9 because it's 9 minus 0. Here, what is this number? 9.1 minus 25 minus 9.1. So I will have 25 minus 9.1, and my answer will be 15.9. So I will write my 15.9. 15.9. Remember, I will stop here as per my consumption. And then now, no, it's not 15.9. Sorry. This one, where I scratched, I don't use these numbers. I will say consumption minus the one at the top, like this one. It was always consumption minus 1 at the top. So the formula for where you scratch is consumption minus the numbers at the top. So here it will be my consumption 23 minus 9. 23 minus 9, it will be 14 if I'm not mistaken. Yes. Okay. Please know for this one that you scratched, you don't use this table. It's consumption minus the number on top. If it's one number like this one, it's just 23 minus 9. But if you have three numbers, it's going to be 170 minus 114 minus 14 minus 20. Okay, so now I'm going to work out my tariff. It's going to be 9 times 0 is 0, because we know that free is 0. Okay, and this one is going to be 14 times I don't know what is that number, 8.25 times 8.25. And our consumption is going to be 115.50. So to get the consumption for the month, I'm going to add 0, and that number is going to be 115.50. See how easy is the tariff if you draw the columns? Let's go to the next one quickly. Okay. Okay, so I will pass this one, but although I didn't want to pass this one, so let's go to this one before I go to that one. So let's change this consumption to 550, ne? I will tell you why. So because I want to show you something. Okay. So now let's say if the Jacobs family consumes 550 kilowatts. So we go, it's less than 550, less than 550, it's greater than 550. So we'll cancel this one. Voila. So let's go and cancel our line that is greater than. Then we know this block. Now we calculate our blocks. This block will be 100 minus 0, it's 100. And that following block will be 400 minus 101, it will be 299. And then now we are on the scratch block. Remember, the scratch block is consumption minus what is on the top. So my consumption is 550. So 550 minus what is in the top, 299, and then minus 100. So this block is going to be 151. See why do we scratch? Okay, now we are good to go. We know we stop on the scratch line. So this one, in this case, we don't have free. Okay, so it won't be 0. So this one, it will be 1000. Let me do this on the calculator. 141.78 times 100. We get 1,400. Hey, am I right? It's 14,178.00. And then this one, it's 299. 299 times 165.92. Here we're going to get 49,610. 49,610 0.08. It's going to be here. And then the last one is 151 times 180.77. And then we get our answer. It's going to be 27,296.27. Okay, so here you are. Then for the total, you can get your total here. Now you know how much will they pay, what will be their cost per month. Okay, so it's easy to do tariff using this table. Okay, so I did this for you. But this one, I think I missed a number here. I can't remember it. Let me put 75 rand. I think it was 75 rand from the textbook. Okay, so this one is different because it has got a fixed cost per month. Okay, so now here we are going to get a block. It's 9. Or sorry, it's 65. So we are going to stop here at more than. So our line, we're going to draw it at more than. Okay, so now sorry, we don't need it here. Now it's going to be 25 minus 9.1. What is our answer? Quickly, 15.9. And then we continue. We come to this one. Is going to be 30 minus 25.1. We getting what you get in your calculator, 4.9. And And then this one is going to be 45 minus 30.1. What do we get? We get 14.9 on this one. 14.9. And then now we are on our scratch line. We know scratch is consumption minus everything at the top. So it's 65, which is my consumption, minus 14.9 minus, what is that number? 4.9 minus 15.9 minus 9. Okay, then we are going to get, which is 20.30, 20.3. We know it's for this scratch column. Okay, now we've got our blocks. Okay, so now we're going to get our tariff, which here block times tariff, it's 9 times 0 because we've got a free, it's 0. And then fixed month, it's 0. Okay, and then we come to this one, we got all this. Okay, but all this, they've got an additional 75. So which means we will get our total. After getting our total, we just add 75 rand once, because all these, they add 75 rand once. So we'll get our totals here, and here we'll get the big total. After that, we'll add the 75 rand as a fixed cost. That's the difference with the one with the fixed cost. So I hope you get this. Please know how to add these two columns. This is the formula. Okay, don't forget, this is the formula to calculate. And so you should have your brackets just to show that it is the formula. Okay, so please, the only trick is just to scratch the one that is more than your consumption. If you don't have the one that is more than that, you scratch the more than line. Okay, and also to calculate, when you get here, you use your consumption, you minus everything that is on the top. If you do the tariff like this, you shouldn't have a problem. Okay, so done with a tariff.